do this while it's available.
Yeah, do.
There was once long ago a beautiful girl called Rapunzel who had long golden hair, and she wore it in a long braid. When Rapunzel was a baby, a wicked witch had stolen her from her mother and father and shut her up in the tower which stood in the wood. It had neither staircase nor doors, but only a little window way up high in the wall. When the witch wanted to enter the tower, she stood at the foot of the tower and shouted, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Then Rapunzel would let down her long golden braid, and the witch would climb up by it and go through the window. Rapunzel was very lonely all day in the tower, and often she would sing a plaintive song to pass away the time. One day a prince rode by the tower and heard her sweet song. Immediately he fell in love with her beautiful voice and made up his mind that someday he would marry that lady who could sing like that. But although he longed to meet her, he could see no way of getting into the tower. "There's no door and no staircase," he thought to himself, sadly, and he rode away through the forest again. But the voice of Rapunzel haunted the prince, and every day he rode back to the tower to hear it. One day, while he was hiding behind some trees, he saw the witch approach. He saw her come to the foot of the tower and heard her cry, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Then he watched in amazement as Rapunzel lowered her hair from the window and the witch climbed up. Next day he rode to the tower, and as it began to grow dark, and called softly, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Down came Rapunzel's golden plate, and that's another word for a hair that's done in long, like that.
Long braid.
Long braid, yeah. At first Rapunzel was frightened, but the prince talked to her so kindly that she soon lost her fear. He told her that he had fallen in love with her and wanted to marry her. "But how can I get down from the tower?" asked poor Rapunzel. "Next time I come, I will bring a rope," said the prince. "Do not despair. I will help you down, and my horse will carry us both away to my palace, where the witch will never ever find us." Now Rapunzel's song was happy as she waited and watched for her prince to come back. But alas, the wicked witch had seen the prince leave the tower, and guessed he was planning to take Rapunzel away. She flew into a furious rage, and when she got into the tower, she cut off Rapunzel's beautiful hair with an enormous pair of scissors. "You will never see your fine prince again," she shouted to the poor girl. Then she sent Rapunzel away into the dark forest, and she herself hid in the tower until the prince returned. When she heard him call, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair," she threw down one end of the long plate while she held the other end tightly. The prince climbed up the rope, but instead of seeing beautiful Rapunzel waiting for him at the top, he saw the face of the ugly old witch. "Ah," she cried mockingly, "you have come to fetch Rapunzel, but you will never ever see her again." The prince was beside himself with grief, and in his despair he sprang out of the window. At the foot of the tower was a thorny bush, and as the prince landed on this thorns, hurt his eyes, and he became blind. But he couldn't believe that his lovely Rapunzel was dead, and although he could not see, he set out to search for her. Day by day, after day, he rode into the forest, asking people if they had seen a beautiful fair lady, but no one had. Then one day he sat resting in the shade of a large tree. He heard a voice singing. The prince raised his head and then got up, turning from one side to another to find out from which direction the sound was coming. For the song was none other than the same sad song that he'd heard Rapunzel sing in the tower. And he knew without a doubt that the singer could only be his own dear Rapunzel. He began to call her name. "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, Rapunzel had been living in the forest in great poverty, but she thought constantly of her handsome prince and wondered what had become of him. When she heard his voice calling her name, she ran toward the sound and soon saw the prince, whom she had despaired of ever seeing again. She ran to him and threw her arms around his neck. When she discovered that he was blind, she wept, and 2 of her tears fell on his eyes. Immediately his eyes became better, and he could see again. Then the prince took Rapunzel away from the forest, riding his great white galloping horse. They rode away into the prince's own kingdom, where they were received with joy, and they lived happily ever after together.
The end.
The end.
Thank you.